Peace and blessings, and welcome to my channel. I'm continuing to work on our lovely honey. Remember on the last video, I was saying that I wanted to do the powder creasing prior to applying paint. And then I realized that I had done my foundation layer. And I then went on ahead and put on the powder to do the creasing, and it came out, it came out good. I'm pleased. And then I was able to go ahead and put another layer of paint on, and it stayed. So I'm happy about that. Now, what I did do also is, because I am going for a deeper tone, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. What I did was on the hands, the back, as well as the palm and all of the fingers, I did an additional um, light coat of paint, which is that chocolate kind of color, well, the hot chocolate kind of color, or cafe con leche coloring, the nutmeg. So I did that on the back of the hands, the palm, as well as on the fingers, and on the toes, the front of the foot, the top of the foot, as well as the sole of the foot. And then what I also did was I went on ahead and I did another dark layer in the nostrils, okay? And I did some more red in the tongue. You may not be able to really see it, but it's there. And then I painted the head with that beautiful nutmeg type color. Now, what I want to point out to you is that when you're painting an open eye kit, it's important that you also paint all inside here. All inside, whatever it's going to show, paint all of that, because if you don't paint it, it's going to show that it hasn't been done once you complete the kit, and it won't be flattering. So always remember, if you have an open eye baby, to make sure that you're painting all of that area inside, uh, on the borders of the eye. So yes, so that will. And then what I also did was I did, like I said, I did the painting on the head and the face, and also I, did the ears as well. So I think she's going to be coming along quite nicely. I hope you are enjoying these mini series that I've been able to um, paint and upload. I hope it is something that you are enjoying. Right now, I'm going to do a little bit of blue modeling, and I will start with the back of the head. I will not do the face because I don't model the face. I just will do the back of the head and the sides of the face. I like using the sea sponge. Um, I like the, what do you call it? I like the pattern that it gives. So yeah. I'm using a slightly darker blue than I did when I did Kato. But I'm not going to go, like I said, on the face. Just kind of going around just a little bit. So we will, these are colors that I made, custom. itself that you see here in this little container. I like this little container. It holds 9 little pots that have a top and they're easy to store. I wish I had purchased more than one when I saw it, and I started to purchase more than one, and I didn't. Now, when I went back to the store, I don't see it. And I'm trying to remember exactly where I purchased it. I think I purchased it from the Dollar Tree. Um, However, I tried like 3 Dollar Trees and could not find it. I don't know, maybe they don't make it anymore. They had some other types that, they did have in stock. I like this one because it's flat and it's very easy to store. Um, but maybe they discontinued it because the tops are a little difficult to get off. So maybe maybe that's what happened. I don't know. So we have a little bit of blue. Um, I don't know if it's modeling or if it's depth, but it does give slight illusion also of veins. So we did the head and we did a little bit of the sides of the face and we did just a little bit of the ears. Now we will go ahead with the arms and we will model a slight amount on the back of the hand. Not much, just a slight amount. And we don't do anything with the palms or the soles of the feet. So I'm just going very, very lightly on. Kato, I didn't do it quite this dark. However, because um, I'm striving to make a darker melanated baby, I'm just going a little bit darker with the blue. Now the blue will, of course, you know, deepen up the browns as we begin to put them on. So, that'll be something as well that will be a bit helpful. Um, but we don't want it to look like the baby has spots like a Dalmatian. So we want to kind of now under the skin. This will definitely, like I said, look like veining. Um, so it's one of those things that kind of serves multiple purposes. So I like doing a little bit of modeling. Or I don't know if this is depth layer. I don't know. Um, but it does give, additional depth to the kit. So maybe it is a depth layer. I'm not sure. I think modeling the the holes on whatever tool you use maybe are smaller. Um, I'm not certain. I'm not certain. All I can tell you is that I just kind of do a little bit of this. And in the kits that I have completed, they have looked very nice and I have gotten compliments about them and people are interested in them. So um, it must look okay. So yeah. Now I'm avoiding the sides of the hands because there won't be any, that deep coloring there. There will be just a border of the lighter skin tone. We're going to go ahead with the legs. We're going to do the same thing. We're not going to do the soles of the feet, but we will do a little bit of the top of the feet. A little bit, on newer babies, younger babies, oftentimes you will see a bit more. You will see modeling, a little bit more, because they haven't completely, their body hasn't completely mastered temperature. So, the modeling does occur. It occurs for different reasons, but that's one of them. So we're going right around everywhere on the leg, except we are not going on the bottom of the feet or too much, not even on the side. We're just going on the top of the foot because the sides, we keep that a little bit lighter because of there's a skin variation that we strive to maintain, um, to add to the realism effect. Now we will go ahead and we will model the second leg, and then we'll be done with the blue model. We'll be done with that. And you just kind of tap it, not rolling it, because you want to keep the indentations that appear from the sponge. Um, Sometimes I use a cosmetic wedge that I've created the holes, um, but I do like the sea sponge. I like the size of it, that I can hold it in my hand, this way, you know, and the holes are varying sizes. You see, so I like it. It gets the job done for me. So we will do another model, but we will use red. Now, since you've seen me do the blue, the red is the same, so I'm not going to film that, but it is the same. All of the limbs, as well as Honey's head, I have completed the modeling in red. Now, while all of that is drying, remember I said I don't put any modeling on the face. So what I am going to do, her actual face, I'm going to take this lovely nutmeg color and go over her face again. Um, so I'm going to be careful and make sure that I go into the eyes so that this area has some color as well. And gonna go over every bit of this portion. Wherever the modeling stopped, that's where we are beginning with our nutmeg. And then we are going behind the ears, okay, in the ears. Again, all of the face, including the lips, but we're not going in the mouth, but we are, covering the lips with this beautiful, beautiful color. Fresh. Okay, so okay, so we are getting the lips. We're taking our time because we are not going in the mouth, and we are going inside the nose to get that additional coloring to the nose. Okay, so I think we have done all of the face that we are going to do with this particular color. Now we are going to pounce. We have to make sure that we don't have any buildup anywhere of any paint anywhere. So we're going to make sure the ears, behind the ears. Okay, that is nice and clear. Now this kit, as you can see, has some eyelid folds. So we want to make sure that there's nothing pooling in there. The sides of the eye, there's some area where pooling can occur, so we want to make sure that there is none there. We're going around the nose, make sure there's no pooling. Inside the nose, make sure there's no pooling. Around the mouth, all of these areas, we want to make sure that there is no pooling, because that will make your kit look dirty, and it will also decrease the visualization of realism. So now we are going to pounce. Now we're going to pounce. The pouncing takes off excess paint as well as it blends all of the paints that you pounce, and it blends. What I like to do again is to kind of go in these little circles so that there aren't any harsh lines. Try to avoid any harsh lines and just pounce everywhere that we just painted. We make sure that we get all of that where we did the eyes, inside the nose, everywhere, everywhere. So this is something that is very good, and so this is something. Okay, all right. Let's see. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Can't tell much difference, but if you could see the flange and you see the kit, you see there is definitely color. Definitely. But when you look here, it doesn't look like it's much, but when you look here, you can see that there's definitely color. Now, what we will do, actually here, I see where I may have kind of, I don't know, maybe I missed a little bit with this nutmeg color. I hope I can fix it, because it looked like there was a little bit of what appeared like a slight, almost like a streak, and we don't want that. So we're just going to go around. Now, the face, we're going to, put more coloring on the face as well as some highlights. So we have a ways to go. Yes, we do, a ways to go. What I am going to do now is take a little bit of this red. This is a little bit deeper than the wash. And I'm going to go back in to the mouth where it appears that it is the tongue. Now I'm just going to kind of try to go on the sides of the tongue, not in the middle, because the tongue has some variation in color. So generally, I want to kind of try to mimic that. And then we'll blend it. A lot of what we do is blending and trying to create shadows and depth. So I need to do a blending. I don't know, you might, I don't think you can actually see. This kit is a little bit different. The mouth on Lillian, her mouth, she had gums as well as a tongue that was defined. So it was, pretty clear cut what, what I wanted to do. Here on this kit is very nice, but I think it's just the tongue that is here on the inside just a little bit. So we have done a little bit of that red. Now we have to let all of the pieces sit a little bit so that they can dry, because we don't want to put more paint on top while they are wet, because you won't get a good result. It'll become muddy and you'll be taking off paint that you've already put on. So we don't want that. So we'll have to wait a little bit for this kit to dry. Um, and what I may do is I may go back to Kato and put on some of his flesh layers. Make sure you stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be sure to leave some comments. Tell me, what do you think about this kit? What are you thinking about this series? Yes. So I am happy with the way things are going, how things are looking. What do you think about this? The what do you call the creasing? I like the creasing. Um, I think it's showing up a bit darker on camera than it is in real life. Because remember, I'm going to put on a deeper colors. So the creasing may fade even more. So I am liking the way things are coming out. This is creasing on the foot. I don't like too I don't like creasing too deep, and I don't like I don't generally crease all of the areas on the kit because it gets paint anyway. However, on this particular kit, Honey, she doesn't have a lot of creasing, which is very interesting that she doesn't. Even on her feet, she doesn't really have that much creasing. One foot she has a little bit more than the other, but she doesn't have that much, which is fine, which is fine. So, um, yes, again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more. Enjoy your day.